What is the most inoffensive thing you've seen someone get offended by? This is within a year after the DADT repeal. Part of the repeal was that, obviously, you can't make fun of people for their sexual preference, so calling people gay was out. Was getting directions to a co-worker's house. He lived on Gay Street. Our supervisor got belligerent about how we can't say that, even after explaining how it was a street name. I love that his takeaway from don't make fun of people for being gay was don't even say the word gay. That's some Michael Scott shit. This is sadly how America seems to be trying to be more inclusive and sensitive. Not by actually being more inclusive and sensitive, but overall strictly demonizing words and semantics. The attitudes on both sides reek of authoritarianism in different forms. While working tech support back during the dot-com boom, I had a customer get upset with me over the use of the word icon. He said it had religious implications and he insisted I call Windows icons little picture things. Off topic, but this reminds me of my 4-year-old niece who calls commercials skip ads. Editing to add that all these upvotes and awards have made my niece feel so special. She doesn't have any clue what 15,000 upvotes means, or what Reddit is, but she's running around in absolute delight that so many people think she's funny. I've been reading most of these comments to her. To be fair, every time they come up there's a label in the bottom right that says skip ads. What's it going to be other than a label? A button? That would be ridiculous. The guy who got offended in a council meeting because someone used the term black hole. Edit. Found the video. https://yahoo.be/yjtgkb_bzyc. That was John Wiley Price, a longtime Dallas City Council member. If I remember correctly, they were asking him why all the paperwork in his department kept disappearing. So he starts throwing a fit about why does everything bad have to be black, like black sheep, devil's food cake, etc. And of course he never did answer where all the paperwork was going. Maybe 22 years ago, I had a phone interview with a baking company. I didn't care to have my peers know what I was up to, so I took the call on my cell phone in my car. The call was crystal clear and no technical issues. At one point, they had mentioned the weather and asked how it was where I was. I told him that I was sitting in my car and I could see that it was actively snowing and whatnot. The interviewer asked me, "Are you taking this call on a cell phone?" I told him I was. Then he asked me if I thought that was appropriate. I asked him what he meant by that. He said he thought it was kind of rude to take a formal call on a cell phone. I told him I would be more than happy to conclude the interview if talking on a cell phone was an issue. If he was interested, I'd be happy to continue it the next day when I'd be at a desk. He again repeated how rude he thought it was that I had called from a cell phone and that there was no need to continue the interview process. I disagreed with the first point but did agree with the second. To this day, I wonder what the hell he was talking about and where he was coming from. Probably just got over the fact that telephones exist and wasn't ready to accept the fact that mobile phones aren't a thing made by the devil. This guy at a Halloween party I was at was dressed in a giant bacon costume. Some girl was yelling at him for being so offensive toward Jews and Muslims. She was neither Jewish nor Muslim. One of the Muslim guys at the party asked her what the fuck she was talking about, but she didn't back down. LOL. I have no idea why people feel they need to go out of their way to be, inaccurately, offended on behalf of other cultures' religions. Reminds me of a news story I saw a while ago. A Muslim family moved to a mostly white town. The white people decided it would help them feel more welcome if they removed every book from the library that had anything to do with pigs or bacon. I guess just because you can't eat it you shouldn't see it or read about it either. I mean, they're a little confused, but they've got the spirit. There was a post on Reddit a while back, maybe a guy was dating a girl who lost her shit because he said flame retardant, and apparently retardant was a terribly offensive word. I think about that post a lot. Maybe someone can link it. Considering how easy it is to look up the meanings of words nowadays, these misunderstandings of terms should happen less, not more. They don't want facts, they just want to yell at people. Had someone get offended by me calling my brother bro, they insisted that I was racist and that white people can't be related to Mexicans. Like seriously lady, that's not how genetics work. We are 100% related and are a mix of white and Native American. It's not that unheard of for one biological sibling to come out lighter or darker than the other. And even if we weren't related, seriously, I'm racist for calling someone close to me my bro despite being different skin tones? Seriously? Thank you for coming to my rant session. Have a good day. I had someone scoff and ask me how I, a white person, have a Latina cousin. It's like they don't realize two people of different races can have kids together. My sister and I look about as much alike as Thor and Loki. Same parents, We just scored really different genes. Teachers didn't believe us when we told them we were sisters. Genetics are weird sometimes. Sorry, I am a disabled person. My life sucks because of my disability, and no longer being able to do the things I used to love makes me quite depressed sometimes. Some asshole tried to lecture me about how I was ableist for wishing there was a cure for my disability. Fuck me for not enjoying being in constant pain and possibly ending up in a wheelchair in the future, I guess. Calling a disabled person ableist? That's sickening. I remember I once got in an argument with someone on Tumblr because they stated it's offensive for me to not want to have my anxiety and I should be proud of it. No thanks, Becky. I'd rather be able to live my life without the constant feeling that something's going to go wrong. This https://www.bbc.com/news/world-asia-china-5410739. Professor Greg Patton at the University of Southern California, USC, was telling students in a communications lecture last month about filler, or pause words, such as a more you know in English. Footage of his lecture, which has now gone viral, shows Prof. Patton saying, "In China, the common pause word is that. So in China, it might be najet, enunciated. Najet sounds like the N-word," which led several of the professor's students to complain to the university. Responding to the complaint, the dean of the university, Jeffrey Garrett, told students that Prof. Patton would no longer be teaching the course. "It is simply unacceptable for the faculty to use words in class that can marginalize, hurt and harm the psychological safety of our students," he said. The university says that Prof. Patton volunteered to step away from his role amid the investigation into complaints made against him. "This is the stupidest thing to get offended over that I've seen in quite a while, and damaging to actual cases of racist terminology being used inappropriately. The Canadian flag told me that if they put up a Canadian flag in PA, the neighbors would come and shoot everybody. Not quite sure about the logic on that one. Some people are weird when it comes to flags. I live in a mostly Hispanic part of NY. You can't drive by a house without seeing a Puerto Rican flag or a few American ones. One time an Asian family moved here and put up a flag that had Buddha on it. A bunch of people bitched and Buddha was taken down. Apparently Buddha is racist. Or the people giving the Asian family shit were being racist. That's the only thing that makes any sense. One time someone got offended when I put on my seatbelt. Thought I was commenting on her ability to drive. Same thing happened to me. The Uber driver said, "Do you wear your seatbelt when you're with your dad?" I said yes. "I don't know. He died in a tragic car accident when I was 5 and all my seatbelt memories are repressed." What of it? How dare you comply the law? Edit. Okay, just to establish, I'm aware that not all places require a seatbelt now. I've been told many times. When I wrote this I naively assumed that my state wasn't the only one that did this. But I'm not gonna delete it cause I got 6k karma and for some reason I like fake internet points. How dare you want to survive should someone else drive into you irrespective of her driving ability. When I was a child, my mum paid for something with a check. The cashier remarked that my mum had nice handwriting. My mum flew off the handle, and we had to storm out of the shop in outrage. To this day, I have no idea what happened. Maybe it brought up sore feelings from when she failed the doctor entrance exams. Whoa, you've got great handwriting. I have a boyfriend. I will not be able to sleep tonight until I know what this is about. I got in trouble in kindergarten for saying the word dead. Apparently it was too violent. My siblings are monitored on their phones for safety. Don't worry, Reddit. I'm the one who controls it and I'm key sure it's not extreme or detrimental to them. My sister got an alert for violence. The culprit? A picture of mouthwash. I had a friend who had parental controls on his computer and it kicked in when he looked up a fingering chart for band. In the Pokemon card days of school, me and my bud were showing off how cool our cards were. I said something along the lines of, "Yeah, but mine has more heath, it won't die as quick." Got a letter home to my parents. I once listened to my boss try to lecture the fire marshal because he was talking about something being flame retardant. Her reasoning was you should just call it fireproof because retardant was an awful word. It was one of those times where I really should have tried to stop her, but instead I just stood off to the side, probably making a surprise Pikachu face. I got an angry call from a client at the vet hospital I used to work at. She was angry that the doctor had written in her dog's chart something along the lines of chemotherapy has retarded the growth of the tumor. She was deeply offended that the vet called her dog retarded. People's stupidity really shines through when it comes to words like that. I was at the vet with my cat and he sneezed. This was apparently very offensive to an elder woman. She was there with a corgi, and she started screaming at me for about 30 minutes about pet hygiene. I sang the song Hit the Road Jack to a kid I just beat in a game while in the 3rd grade mockingly. He took that as me calling him a jackass. He told the recess monitor this. I was told to stand against a wall away from the rest of the kids with the recess monitor. I am now 27 now, married with 2 kids, but I will never forget this. If you ever see this, I didn't call you a jackass, Jared. But now, fuck you forever. When I worked in customer service, yes mom. Don't you mom me, don't you fucking mamme, you piece of shit. The Pixar short lava. He walked out saying it was deeply offensive and didn't explain why. This is offensive to the volcano community. I'm erupting with rage. Careful, erupting could be construed in a sexual manner, and therefore offensive. At my wedding we marked the vegetarian items as vegetarian. This made the one vegetarian at my wedding, sister-in-law who hates me, fly into a catatonic rage because we are singling out the vegetarian food as vegetarian and not treating it as normal food. Then how the fuck are they supposed to know it's vegetarian? Yikes, that's a ridiculous thing to blow up at someone about, and she doesn't even make sense. It's definitely easier when the food is labeled as vegetarian, vegan, etc, so you don't have to ask. I hope you don't have to deal with that particular sister-in-law as much since your wedding edit, spelling, comma, so you don't have to ask. See, this is where you went wrong. They want to be able to ask so then everybody knows they're vegetarian. A sandwich. I kid you not. My ex-husband was given a sandwich by our then 13 years old daughter, and because she cut the sandwich he went off on a massive strop about how his sandwiches should never be cut, etc. The poor kid's face. She was crushed. It still winds me up no end every time I think about it. I can't believe things didn't work out between you two. He seems lovely. I laughed out loud at this comment. Thank you for that. That sucks. My youngest isn't allowed to use sharp knives, so when he made me a sandwich, he tore it in half. It was still a great sandwich. That made me actually laugh out loud. Thanks. The image of a kid just making a nice neat sandwich and then ripping it in half is hilarious. I worked at a restaurant and we put up some Halloween decorations. We had to take them all down when someone found the glittery skull decoration offensive. Similar situation happened to me. I'm a nurse at a children's hospital. I was wearing Mickey Mouse Halloween scrubs which have little dancing skeletons on it. A visitor for one of my patients complained that I was wearing scary and inappropriate scrubs. I think the best part about that being scary is we all literally have skeletons inside of us right now. Edit. Thank you for doing what you do, by the way. I told my sister in a PM that it's first not one RST after she posted something on Facebook with the spelling error. She flipped out saying how I'm a bully and I need to appreciate that her spelling is more unique. Edit. She's 27. My parents are abusive and have called my sisters and I every name in the book. Pretty sure cunt was said to me more than my name. In a fight, my sister called my dad a fool when he was throwing a hissy fit. He flipped his shit and couldn't fathom being called something more offensive. He called me and told me what she said, and I laughed at him. Now my sister and I laugh all the time about how crazy our parents are. One time my dad told me to go to bed. I said, "Oh, man," a common colloquial expression of disappointment. He grounded me for addressing him as man instead of dad. What? My dad once got mad because he called me a son of a bitch and I laughed. Damn. Call him a fopdiddle next time. It's an old time word for fool. He won't have a clue what it means unless he looks it up, and you guys can blow some steam off.